Hello friends, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Srishaila Todkar. I have come up with a story, The Homecoming by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was one of the leading writers in Indian English literature. Friends, this story talks about an adolescent boy named Fatik Chakravarti, who is a little bit mischievous. His mother has prejudice against him. She thinks one day he may bring some danger upon his younger brother Makhan. So on the request of her brother Bishambar, she sends Fatik with him to Calcutta for education. As an adolescent, he is hungry for love and affection, but he doesn't get there, so he feels loneliness and suffocated and wants to come back to his own place, that is his home. Friends, this is a brief idea about the story. Let us see the story in detail. The opening scene is set in a village. It is at the bank of a river. A group of the boys gathered and there was a leader over group, Fatik Chakravarti. The group was mischievous. The boys had many ideas and mischiefs in their heads. They used to execute their mischiefs every day by giving the troubles to the people of village and taking pleasure from it. There was also one mischief they had to execute, so they gathered there. There was a heavy log lying on a mud flat and they wanted to move it away from the place. It was put by somebody in order to make a mast from it for his boat. And these boys wanted to move it away. They wanted to see the expression of that person after coming and finding that the log is not on its place. So the person will become angry and surprised and the boys will enjoy his expressions. All agreed. All were about to push the log. At the same time, Makhan, the younger brother of Fatik, sat down on the log and he didn't want to move. One of the boys tried to push him away, but he could not do that. Fatik became angry, said, "Makhan, if you don't get down this minute, I will thrash you." But there was not any effect of the words of Fatik on Makhan. He didn't move an inch. Fatik thought that now it was the question of his dignity. If his own brother was not obeying him, so other companions, what they may think about him. So he had to prove his words. He had to execute his plans. So he thought that he may have another idea. And he ordered his companions. They were going to push the log along with Makhan. All agreed and all were about to push the log. They said, 1, 2, 3, go. And with the word go, they pushed the log. The log went away and Makhan fell into mud. All boys were laughing, looking at each other. But Fatik was so serious because he knew that what was going to take place. Makhan got up from his place, rushed at Fatik, scratched on his face, beat him and kicked him and went crying to home. All the boys went away. Fatik was left alone there. She sat down on an edge of a sunken boat and he had a grass in his hand and he was chewing it. At the same time, a middle-aged man with a grey hair and dark mustache came there. He saw a boy was sitting there and doing nothing. So he asked him a question, where the Chakravartis lived. And Fatik gave answer, over there. The man couldn't understand exactly where he pointed. And so that's why once again he asked. And that time Fatik was angry. He didn't want to talk to anybody. So in anger he said that, go and find out. Man went away. And after some time, a servant came to him and told him that his mother wanted to meet him, wanted to see him. But Fatik was not ready to go away from the place because he knew that if he goes to his home, what will happen with him. But servant with his all strength, he carried away Fatik, took him to his home. When Fatik entered the home, mother saw him, shouted loudly, "So you have been eating makhan again?" Fatik replied, "No, I haven't. Who told you?" Mother said, "Don't tell lies, you have." "I tell you, mother, I haven't. You can ask Makhan." Now it was the turn of Makhan. Either stick to his earlier statement or tell the truth. But he thought that it would be better that he should stick to his earlier statement which had been given to his mother. So he said to his mother, "Yes, mother, Fatik did hit me." Fatik became angry with him because it was an injustice with him. Makhan himself had beaten Fatik and now he was lying in front of his mother. So he rushed at Makhan, hammered him with blows, saying that, "Take that and that and that for telling lies." His mother caught hold of Fatik, taking the side of Makhan and tried to beat him. But in conflict, Fatik pushed her aside and she thought that he tried to hit her. So she shouted at him, saying that, "What, you little villain? Would you want to hit your own mother?" And at the same time, there was the arrival of that grey-haired man. When Fatik saw him, he felt sorry and ashamed, because when that man had asked him question or address of Chakravarti, that time he had not given it properly. Mother recognized that person. She said, "Why, Dada, where have you come from?" And she bowed to the ground and touched the feet of that person. So he was her brother. When she married, that time he went to Bombay and settled there. Meantime, she lost her husband, and when he came back to Calcutta, he came to know about his sister and he came to see her here. And anger converted into surprise now. Few days went in a joy with her brother, and then one day he asked Bishamba about the education of the children. She said that Fatik was perpetual nuisance. He was disobedient, lazy and wild. But while saying about Makhan, she said that he was as good as gold, as quiet as lamb, and he was fond of reading. So she had a prejudice against Fatik, and she had always favor for Makhan. Listening all these things, Bishambar, her brother, thought that he should take Fatik to Calcutta and get education there with his children. So he requested his sister and she agreed. When he asked Fatik, that time Fatik said that, "Oh yes, uncle." So he also showed his excitement to go to Calcutta. Mother became happy because she thought that now there would not be more danger to Makhan. She had in her mind fear that one day Fatik will bring some danger to Makhan. So when he will go to Calcutta, there will not be danger for Makhan. But at the same time, she had a distressed feeling about Fatik. As he showed his eagerness to go to Calcutta, it made her to think about that. And when Fatik was about to go to Calcutta, before that also he asked many times his uncle when they were leaving for Calcutta. It means that he was excited to go to Calcutta. And when it was the time to go to Calcutta, he showed his love to his younger brother. He gave his kites, his marbles and fishing rod. Means that everything he gave to his younger brother. Before this, he had never given to him. So he showed his love. Now they came to Calcutta. His aunt, means Bishambar's wife, she did not pleased seeing them because she had already 3 children and she was fed up with it. And the 4th child in her house from other family, she cannot bear that. So she didn't like it. Bishambar also should have thought about that before bringing this boy to his home. The boy of the 14 years is always the worst thing for the people in this world according to the writer, because it is an adolescent age and there are the many changes taking place in his body mentally as well as physically. So he is unattractive and not useful. So sometimes he behaves like a child. When he behaves like a child, people think that he is childish. And when he behaves like a grown-up, people think that he is impertinent. It means that both kinds of the behavior are rejected by the people. And the mistake or the mischief done by child can be forgiven. But the unavoidable fault also cannot be tolerated done by adolescent boy. So Bishambar should have thought before bringing this boy to his home. And such a kind of the boy always needs the love and affection from his mother, any elderly woman, especially from his mother. But if he doesn't get love and affection, definitely he gets developed the feeling that loneliness, and there might be the bad impact on his mind. And if somebody is there to give him love and affection, he becomes a slave of that person. That's why his home is the only paradise for such a boy. He can get their love from his parents, especially from his mother. There is a brother, sister, grandparents, they are there to love him. And that's why he should be there in his home, and that is his paradise. Aunt was the only elderly lady in the house, so he expected that she would give him love and affection. But she had not given, and she never showed him that. He wanted to get her favor, so whenever she asked him to do any work, in excitement he would overdo it and she would scold him. And now gradually he got the feeling that he was rejected in the house. Though Bishambar was a very good person, but he had not time to spend with him. Now Fatik wanted to go into the open space and fill his heart with a fresh air. But there was not open space. Everywhere there were the tall buildings and the tall walls. So he could not go into the open space. He remembered his village. He remembered meadows, rivers, streams, where he used to play with his companions, kites, used to swim, used to dive into the streams. But now everything was lost, and he missed everything. He had a silent cry for his mother in his heart, and now he was the backward boy in the class. No other boy was backward than Fatih. Every day whenever teacher asked him question, he did not give answer, and he suffered all the blows came on his back. And students, when they went outside to play, he just stood by the window and gazed at the roofs of the houses. Whenever he saw that the children playing on the roofs, he had the sorrows in his heart. One day he went to his uncle and said, "Uncle, when can I go to my home?" And uncle answered him that, "Wait till the holidays come, and holidays will come in November." So he had to wait until November, and then he lost his lesson book. It became him very difficult to do the lessons without a lesson book. So he could not do. So every day he was beaten by the teacher. So his condition was become so miserable. It was impossible for him to bear all these things. But still he was tolerating. And his cousins, they used to criticize him, they used to mock at him, they used to laugh at him, because they were also ashamed of him. Every day he was beaten by the teacher. And then he went to his aunt and said that he had lost his lesson book. He expected that his aunt will give him a new lesson book. But on the contrary, she became angry with him and she shouted, "You great clumsy country fool, how can I afford with all my family to buy you new books 5 times a month?" So it did not happen what he had expected, and he did not get a new lesson book. On the same night, while coming from the school, he had a severe headache and a fit of a shivering. He thought that he would have a malarial fever, but he didn't want to tell anybody, as he thought that he became a nuisance to his aunt, so he kept it with himself only. In the morning he was missing, and it was all through the night raining, so all the people who went in search of Fatih came with wet clothes. They could not find Fatih. At last Bishambar asked the help of the police, and in the evening time a van stopped at the door in front of his house. Two constables came with a Fatik and they handed over Fatik to Bishamba. He saw he was shivering. His face and eyes flushed red with fever. He took in his arm and carried in inner apartment. And when his wife saw him, she shouted, she became angry and said that, "What a heap of trouble this boy has given us. Hadn't you better send him home?" Fatik heard her words and sobbed out loud. "Uncle, I was just going home, but they dragged me back again." That night his fever rose and he was ill all through night. He asked his uncle, "Uncle, have the holidays come yet? May I go home?" And his uncle had tears in his eyes. He wiped out tears from his eyes and he sat by him all through night. He listened to him muttering in his sleep, and also Fatik shouted loudly saying, "Mother, don't beat me like that. Mother, I am telling the truth." In the next morning, when Fatik was conscious for a little time, he was searching for someone in the room. But when he found that the person was not there whom he had expected, he became disappointed. Bishambar understood it. By bending down, Bishambar said him, "Fatik, I have sent for her." It means that Fatik was searching for his mother. He had expected her to come there, but she had not come there. And Bishambar gave him word that she may come in a time. Doctor said that the condition of the boy was very critical. Later in the day, his mother arrived there. When she came to room, she started crying loudly. She burst into the room and she began to toss from side to side. Bishambar tried to calm her. She tried to calm her agitation, but she flung herself on the bed of Fatik and cried loudly, "Fatik, my darling, my darling." And Fatik stopped his restless movement for a while and just made a sound, "Oh." And then once again she cried loudly saying, "Fatik, my darling, my darling." And then Fatik, without opening his eyes, turned his face and said, "Mother, holidays have come." So the story ends here. Friends, here we see that mother who has a prejudice against her son, it doesn't mean that she doesn't love him. The only person who can give more love than the other, that is a mother. And here also, Fatik doesn't understand that she loves him. But here we can understand at the end of the story, she had not shown earlier to him that she loves. She had love, but she showed at the end. Means that when the time comes, she shows it. And that time, Fatik also understands that mother is a very important. Mother gives the true love, and mother is the only who can offer love and affection. So he cries for his mother at the end of the story. He had a silent cry for his mother at the end of the story, and he was also expecting her, not anybody else. And that's why he wanted to go back to his home, to his own place, but he couldn't go there. Friends, it is a very important on the side of the parents that they should take care of their children. They should give the love to their children, and the children also can get the love only in their family, from mother, father, especially from mother. But when children kept with the family other than their own, then it is very difficult for them to get love from the other people. So parents should take care of that. They should not put their children or keep their children with the family of others. So they should keep their children with themselves when they are in adolescent age. And parents should show their love overtly through their acts, expressions and gestures. And they should make their children to think or feel that they are special to their parents. If the parents fail to do that, the children can take any action, or they can think in a different way. They feel loneliness and they may take such a kind of step that may lead them towards their own destruction. So this is the responsibility of the parents, that they should look after their children. The one more thing is that when there are the two children in the family, always attraction is given to the younger one, and the elder one always feels that he is rejected, neglected. His parents don't give him that much love what they give to their younger brothers. So it is also our duty that we should not compare the two children together. Let them be at their own places, and we should not make the difference between them, or we should not make to feel them that this is superior, this is inferior, like that. That also gives a bad impact on their mentality. Friends, there are many things to discuss about this story. But friends, we'll stop here now. I think you might have liked this story. So, if you have liked this story, please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching this story.